Have you broken free from the expectations that other people have for you in your life, whether it's religion, culture, societal expectations, or you are wanting to break free away from those? I'm going to share a multidimensional chakra scan that I just did with a client in case it helps you on your journey as well. I go into my client's energy field. I'm shot into space and I'm heading towards a star, or what I thought was a star, but it was actually a planet. And it's one that I have never seen before. It's not a part of this galaxy. If you have seen this planet, let me know in the comments. But the planet's name was Limneck. And as soon as I landed, there was this cat being that was there to meet me. And kind of like a cat being, a cat humanoid almost. They had blue, purplish skin, but not fur necessarily. It was more like a seal where it has that slick type of fur. Very gorgeous. And she had almost like a tiger tail, like the way that looks. So this being was actually a different timeline version of my client in this incarnation. And so I introduced myself and told her why I was there, to see if she needed any support or if she had any guidance for my client in this incarnation. And I asked her what she was doing, and she said, I'm guarding these crystals because she had this. It was like a weapon, but it was a like an energetic blaster. But she wasn't necessarily trying to hurt anybody with it. She was just posting guard in front of this cave. And I got peeked in there and I said, oh, those crystals are really beautiful. They were bioluminescent. And I asked her if I could touch them. And she was like, no, but you can look. I asked her what they were for. And she said that they power their ships because they are intergalactic travelers, that they can go to different planetary systems, different galaxies. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I said, can I actually ask you about yourself? And she said, who, me? And I said, yes. And she said, why do you want to know about me? Nobody ever asked me about myself. I was like, why does nobody ask about you? And she said that her people, the cat humanoid beings that lived on this planet, that they were very stoic. And they only said words that they needed to say, like they were very short in their communication. They didn't really go in depth on things, very matter of fact. And as she was telling me that, I set up a hammock with 2 trees from Earth. And she was like, what are those? And I climbed in the hammock and I actually got a popcorn bucket that I was sitting in my lap and like eating as she was talking. And she had never obviously seen Earth trees or popcorn or hammocks. And she said, where did you get those from? And I said, I pulled them through the ethers. I offered her some popcorn and she took the bucket and started eating it. And she was like, this is really good. And she started loosening up a little bit. And I was asking her what she enjoys doing. And she said, I like to draw. And I said, okay, what do you like to draw? Because she was not being very forthcoming with the answers. And she started blushing really hard and her face got super red and she kind of turned away from me. And I said, oh, well, you don't have to tell me what you're drawing. I said, but I'm the perfect person. I'm a stranger. I'm not going to judge you. Like, if you want to get something off of your chest, like, let's do it here. She said that she was drawing her future partner, like romantic partner. And I said, oh, that's so sweet. And she said, no, it's not. She said, it's silly and I don't have time for that. And then she was telling me that when the beings get into partnerships, like romantic partnerships on the planet, that they're not necessarily doing it because of deep love. Like the relationships are very cold and stale because they're more just about reproductive purposes. But she was a bit of a romantic herself, okay? And she had a lot of empathy. She was born with way more empathy and attunement to her feelings than the majority of beings on her planet, but she felt very lonely and isolated in that because they were very few and far in between. And I said, okay, if you're wanting a very deep romantic relationship, there's probably other beings like you out there in the cosmos that also want that, and you're waiting on them and they are waiting on you. And she was like, oh, I didn't really think about it like that. I said, why don't you go travel to different places off of this planetary system to try and, find other beings that you can date, if you will. That's a human term, but. And she said that would bring a lot of dishonor to her family and to her community because they really only partner up with their own I don't want to say like species, but they only partner up with their own species. I asked her what would happen if she were to, you know, kind of step out of this cultural expectation, and I said, will you be punished? And she said no, but I would be treated differently. I would be looked down upon. I said, do you think that there are probably other beings like you on this planet who are having the same type of thoughts of wanting to step outside of the norm and express themselves and find friends and partnerships that are in resonance with their true authentic selves? She was like, I don't know. I asked her if she had her own ship, and she said yes. And I said, what is stopping you from going out and just exploring, even if it's not for a romantic partner, just going out and having new experiences? And she said, oh, well, we don't really do that. And she was kind of talking about these, they weren't military, but like ground beings. And she said that there's other versions of them that are more exploratory, but not the role that she was in. And I said, oh, that's an identity that we are latched onto, because nobody was necessarily telling her that she couldn't, but it was that fear of rejection or just being looked down upon. I'm going to read you what I wrote here so I remember everything, okay? I said, if you are waiting for a partner or friends that are more in alignment with you, they're out there waiting for you too. And she said, well, what if nobody is out there? And I said, well, then you have liberated yourself in the process from these identities and the norms that you are living under in these like fear umbrellas. And I said, we don't need others to complete us. They are meant to enhance our lives, but we can enhance our own and get our cups filled through a myriad of relationships. But we can't do that living in a bubble. I said, maybe you can start to go on small adventures, even if it's not, you know, with a partner or new friends. You can go to different galaxies or planets or, you know, different stars and converse with new people that are outside of the context of what you are living right now. And she said, by myself? And I said, yeah, girl, that's going to help you gain a lot of confidence and independence. And I said, but I know who would want to go with you and who would love to intergalactically travel. And that is my client in this incarnation. I said, that is something that you can teach her to do. It's a two-way street. She can help you heal because she has a partnership in this incarnation that's great. And then you can help her with the traveling. I asked her if she wanted to keep the hammock in the trees and the popcorn bucket, and she was like, I don't know, everybody's going to be asking me where I got them from. And I said, tell them that you got them on one of your travels, like exploring, adventuring. I mean, we're on your planet right now, but technically like you were stepping outside of your normal identity and context right now. So this is a travel, even though I traveled to you, technically we are traveling to a higher frequency together. She said, okay. She liked that idea. And I actually gave her a popcorn bucket that had different settings on it because she only had regular popcorn for me. And it had cheese and caramel as well. And it was unlimited. Every time she pressed it, there would be more popcorn. And she was super excited about that. Overall, she just really needed an example of somebody who has also done that in their own lives, because I explained my life to her and she just felt a lot more empowered, especially being able to work with my client in this incarnation. And if you would like to learn more about your cosmic history and connect to different timelines, receive DNA activations, spiritual upgrades, heal your inner children, you can book a multidimensional chakra scan by going to my profile, checking the comments or the description box below.